What? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It is your main man, Juggernaut, the multi-platinum production team.
Arkatech Beatz.
Shout out to my partner, Mike Trauma D. We are doing the music review live series. We've been doing this every day for about approximately about 6-7 weeks now. We're listening to music. We're trying to find out who is going to be the next thing. At the same time, we're trying to find. Let me be clear. We're trying to find, some diamonds in the rough. Trying to see if see if there's any producers out there, any musicians out there, people that we can potentially collab with. Make sure that you are submitting your music to the link on the screen. If you're a producer, make sure you're joining our school community. Basically, it's for Future Producer Society. It's called school.com at Future Producer Society. It's basically for a place for producers to get their skills up and at the same time, learn from me directly. If you're not familiar with us, I am part of multi-platinum production team Arkatech Beatz. And we are responsible for producing for your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, Big Pun, Nas, Prodigy of Mobb Deep, Jadakiss, The Game, and so many people in between. So anytime now, might take a minute just to hang out, but the review is recorded if you miss it, so you can go back. Okay, so I'm on live now. So, I'm supposed to jump in at 8. We're just a little bit behind, but we're here. And we're going to go through some of these songs, and we're going to be basically listening to these joints in a few minutes. We're just waiting for some folks to get on. And then what we'll do is we'll, start to get into the live stream. We'll be on for approximately an hour, maybe a little bit more than that. It kind of depends on what the vibes are. But, like I said, if it's your first time here, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe and sharing the live. You know what I'm saying? So we're here. We're getting ready to jump into this thing. We're just waiting for some folks to jump into the live stream that may have submitted some skips. So I want to make sure that those folks can get into the live stream. Hopefully the notifications catch them, so that they can kind of see what's happening with this. You know what I mean? Serial Creator, what's up? So at the same time, shout out to y'all that are jumping into the live. Shout out to everybody that is submitting. And like I was saying before, like we are your favorite rappers, producers. And we have done everything for us. Like I said, Big Pun, Nas, Prodigy of Mobb Deep, Jadakiss, The Game, Max B, French Montana. Make sure y'all check out that Coke Wave 3.5 out now. We're one of the #1 records in the country. Ever since you left me, we're on that album with the record produced Me Too, featuring French Montana and Max B. $1 Million Baby 4, Max B coming out soon. With production by us, we produced approximately half of that album, just so that you know that we're real in real time. So that is coming soon. Make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing. And, we're going to get ready to get into it in a minute. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live. Make sure you're sharing the live, hitting the screen, tapping the screen, all that other good stuff. We're about to jump in this a few minutes. Jumping into that live, man. Let me get my Instagram people up. Shout out to everybody jumping into the live. We're about to get started in a few minutes. We're just waiting for the folks that may have submitted some tracks to make sure that we get a chance to join in for the live feedback. Let's go. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live, man. All right, let's get into this thing, man. Let's start listening to some of these records. Hopefully, folks can jump into this live. Again, these are recorded. They will stay on the platform, whether it be Kick or Twitch and or YouTube. Well, Kick and Twitch, it'll probably stay up for about a week afterward, and then on YouTube, they typically are indexed as part of our live part of our live streams. So it'll be there for people to go back to if they want to. But let's jump into it. We're gonna jump into this first one. This first one is called That Bap by Tony from, is it Dachi? Or The Shy? Okay, my bad. Tony from The Shy. Okay, I was like Dachi. I'm like, I'm reading that, ain't reading right to me. Shout out to everybody that's jumping in. We're gonna give it just a few more moments before we jump into before we go into full blown mode. Free Society, what's up, man? We're about to just jump into a record, and then we'll jump into our reviews. Just waiting for the live to waiting for some folks to get notifications that the live is live. You know how it goes. Give it a second for the algorithm to do its job. Because the algorithm needs to do its job. Then we'll get started.
Arkatech Beatz. What do you do when life's that good? Every single inch is working like it should. What's a girl to do when a man's that fine? Feeling like a diamond, shining all the time. When he says he wants me, baby, don't you know? It drives me insane and I can't stop thinking about you, baby. It drives me insane and I can't stop thinking about you, hey, baby. It drives me insane and I can't stop thinking about you, baby. It drives me insane and I can't stop thinking about you.
Cody. Let's go.
What's a girl to do when a man's that fine? Shining all the time. When he says he wants me, baby, don't you know? It drives me insane and I can't stop thinking about you, baby. It drives me insane and I can't stop thinking about you, baby. It drives me insane and I can't stop thinking about you, baby. It drives me insane and I can't stop thinking about you.
Richie, what up? Shout out to Baz Brothers on that, man. Sean pulled me in on that project. I'm doing the music supervision on that one. So, Strength of Love coming out next around Mother's Day, May 8th, featuring my man Sean Anthony Baker as the lead love interest. And shout out to my girl Mila from 702. You know what I mean? For those who know the lead singer of 702, Mila, she is his love interest. She got some acting chops too, you know what I mean? So you gotta just kind of watch it out, you know what I mean? Nice little romantic, black romantic love comedy drama. You know what I mean? You about to get into it, you know what I mean? Shout out to you, my brother. Thank you for your support all the time. And we're jumping to that joint right now. This joint called That Bap, called by Tony from the Shy. Let's take a listen to the track. up, man? Yeah, that's called That Bap from Tony from the Shy. Tony, this beat is kind of fresh, but it got like 4 beats in one, bro. Like we gotta we gotta determine what's gonna be the beat, bro. We got a lot of ideas in one joint, which I guess, you know, from creative to creative, we're gonna say that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Because again, as a producer to a producer, we're gonna say, hey man, you were able to program it and do these different things with the beat. But from my vantage point, and remember what we do here on this live stream, I can't speak for everybody else's live stream. The live stream that we do here in the music review situation that we do here is trying to get people's music to either get pitched, right, or be consumed, right? So we're trying to do, that's the main consensus here, is for us to either you're pitching your music to another artist for you to get placement, or you're trying to be an artist yourself and you got a song that you're trying to get clean or get better so that you can have it ready for public consumption, have it ready for, you know, a commercial viability, right? So this is really the premise of this whole thing here. We're not selling anybody any dreams. We're not doing any of that stuff here. We're just giving constructive feedback, constructive criticism, things that can give you actionable ways to improve, actionable ways for you to get yourself to a particular level with your music so that you can basically start to make next steps, right? So boom, you got this record doing a lot of stuff. And I'm listening to it because I'm like, okay, it starts off one way, and then it starts to move into a different thing. So first it kind of starts off with a bap, and then it kind of starts to move into a trap. And out of all of the things that you did with this, the trap portion of it might have been the strongest. Because we start off with a decent intro, and I'm counting your bars, right? So this goes for a little quick 4 bars, right? And I'm thinking that this is going to stay where it is. I'm thinking it's going to stay here, right? Right. So this part right here, I'm thinking is going to go for 8 bars. It really only goes for 4. I would say really just to kind of pay attention to the mix a little bit, make sure that your instruments are evened out. Right. So I thought that first part was going to go for 8 bars because it was kind of felt like it was the hook. And that's another thing. You have to make sure that you have your beats still set up in song mode, which is you still got to put them in 8-bar sequences for hooks, 8 bars at least for verses, but we recommend 12. You know what I'm saying? So we still have to kind of arrange the song appropriately like a song, right? We have to arrange the beat like a song, right? So then we're going into this. So everything seems to go for 4 bars, and then change, right? Right? That's a different beat now. Because the 808 doing something different. And then we got to bring that riser down. It's a little loud. We're breaking the beat down because we're transitioning to another beat now. So this is happening every 4 bars. Now we're in a full-blown trap. So all this does is this is really confusion for the listener. Because we don't know what vibe to gravitate to. We don't know which vibe to latch onto. And if I'm an artist that's trying to listen to this track, we don't know what we're supposed to rap on, right? And what you don't want to do is you don't want to create a situation where you're trying to, you're trying to create a situation where you're trying to make them choose. You don't really want them to choose. You know what I'm saying? You want to create the structure that leads them in a direction where you want them to be led into, because this is what's going to impact your songwriting. I'm not sure which beat you're talking about, bro, because we got a lot of pre-recordings going on because we've been going on for a little over a month. So there's a lot of episodes. So it's about anywhere between 30, 40 episodes in that shuffle. It goes for about 40 hours, give or take. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of give people an idea of the platform, what we're doing, so to help to promote the platform a little bit. So folks can understand that it's legit in what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? I want people to feel comfortable that if you put your music on this side, that you're gonna get, what you really, what you sign up for. You know what I'm saying? So if you're tuning in, I want to make sure that you're getting the value out of it. There's a lot of beats going on, but right now I ain't gonna hold you. Most of the music that we're doing right now is going to Max B. Ain't nobody hot in the game right now. You know what I'm saying? If I'm being honest with you, like almost all of it's going over that side, right? So, back to this. I need you, Tony, from the Chi. I need you to take this record and I need you to choose which one is going to be the beat. You know what I mean? Like I need you to choose if it's going to be the trap portion of it, and then I need you to make that into a song. Then I need you to arrange it like a song. Arrange it with an intro, arrange it with a hook, arrange it with the verses, and that's what you got to do with this. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, it's not bad in terms of the way that you put your music together. Trap sounds like trap. There's some dope elements there. know what I'm saying? So there's some dope elements in this song, man, that that I think can still fly. You just got to decide where you want it to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make that decision. We can't really make that decision for you, but don't create a situation where you're confusing the artist. You're trying to simplify that as much as possible. You're trying to get the least amount of friction to get into the artist and making sure that the artist can jump on your record. You want them to really understand, to be clear. Okay, this is the intro. This is the hook. This is where I rap. You want to make it very, very, very easy. This is where I sing. You want to make it easy. You know what I'm saying? Because the songs that have the least friction are the ones that get recorded fastest. The records that get recorded fastest are the ones that eventually end up on the album. Because you want the songs not only to get recorded, but you want your songs to get completed. And the only way for your song to get completed is for you to make sure that your beat is not incomplete. Right? If your beat is incomplete, meaning if your beat doesn't have the right arrangement, if your beat doesn't have the right mix, if your beat doesn't have all of these things, if your beat needs extra things to happen to it, then this creates friction. So what happens is, friction means that it takes longer for them to finish the song, it takes longer for them to get the song to completion, and then it takes longer for it to get to market, right? Because now we got to mix it. Now we got to do this. Now we got to arrange it. Now we got to ask the engineer to move things around. And this kind of creates friction. And the more friction that you create, is less of a chance of your song getting completed. Only the completed songs make it to the album. You want to make sure that if there's a situation that happens where you can't get a chance to mix it again, that it can go out as a 2-track. You want to make sure that all of these things are completed so that you don't have the issues. At the end of the day, there's too many obstacles for you to be fighting outside of the track, right? For you to create obstacles for yourself. There's so many obstacles in getting your song recorded and published that you don't want to create more obstacles for yourself by creating a complex song, or creating something that the artist can't follow, or creating something that has to be mixed, or creating something that has to be resequenced or rearranged. Like, you don't want to have those issues. You want to try to make it as simple as possible so that you can basically just, hopefully get your song placed in that fashion. But I'd like to thank you for that submission, man. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the... We have a total of 526 submissions. So, he skipped the line so you can get heard tonight. You know what I mean? So shout out to Tony from the Shah. I got another joint that looks to skip the line tonight. Another skip. This is from For Real from A-Born Records. This song is off the album Everything Is Earned. Shout out to A-Born Records, man. You know what I'm saying? We're about to take a listen to this real quick.
Case on the spot.
Beat sounding tight.
N6D. For real.
Visuals looking tight.
For real.
Let's go.
Every person in my circle getting bread for real. If you leave it up, it's stuck and now you dead for real. Can't be playing with the label off your head for real. Won't say more, we put in pain, we really bled for real. Every person in my circle getting bread for real. If you leave it up, it's stuck and now you dead for real. Can't be playing with the label off your head for real. Won't say more, we put in pain, we really bled for real.
Don't make me point and get you killed. I pray a lot, grip, bro, a pill. I put both daughters in my will. We signed ourselves to record deals. All my bags be vacuum sealed. 100K stuffed in one mattress. Going broke cause seem unreal. Look. I invested my first in my colo, bro. He says they still. I came from nothing, made it something. You don't know how that shit feel. For real. You don't know how that shit feel. Tryna up $250,000 way before the record deal.
I get love from my family, I make money just for talking. When it's due, I ain't in coffins. Pre-corona, I was coughing. Switch the defense to the offense. Since the youngin', we been ballin'. Niggas gotta check the scope. Never benched, I always started. I go dumb, I go retarded. All my niggas really poppin'. Any beat, any occasion. Need the back, so fuck the famous. Off the scene, we left it flaming. Undeniably been hating. RNS, they born the nation. Niggas can't fuck with the greatest. Every person in my circle getting bread for real. If you leave it up, it's stuck and now you dead for real. Can't be playing with the label off your head for real. Won't say more, we put in pain, we really bled for real. Every person in my circle getting bread for real. If you leave it up, it's stuck and now you dead for real. Can't be playing with the label off your head for real. Won't say more, we put in pain, we really bled for real. Damn, I must've made it, I've been feeling all this hatred. Opportunists trying to break me, they can never face me. Fuck a fallout, we gon' ball out. Trash ain't not gon' show out, spread it through the whole house. Yeah, the family had to go out, we so blessed for real. Hold my nigga standing tall, we really bled for real. Don't shoot him in his head, just hit him in his leg for real. Suffer till he's dead for real. Dead for real.
Come on, hook one more time. Nah, we needed the hook at the end. Shout out to these guys on this one, man. This one is called For Real, man, right? Listen, this record is this is a good record, and this is a good video. This video is clean, right? The record is getting right to it. I feel like it's mixed properly. I feel like these guys' vocals are on top of this like it needs to be. I feel like the beat is tight too as well, right? I feel like they got the right look. So you gotta really play on that. Now, so this is the thing.
Got J2G HFT. Court case on the spot. M6D. For real. For real.
So I feel like this could have started sooner, because we're already at, give or take, 21 seconds in. I think that might be a little bit too long. I think we could have did half that before the hook comes in, right? So if we bring it back, right, like if we had to do it over, right, because the beat already starts.
Got J2G HFT.
Start the record right here. Right? So if the record starts here.
Case on the spot. M6D. For real. For real.
Right? Hook. 3, 2, 1. Hit the hook.
Every person in my circle gang.
So we didn't need that in the front. You know what I'm saying? That's creating some friction for the listener. We don't want it as long like that. We don't need it that long. He got the hook. When he's doing this hook here, right?
Breath for real. If you leave it up and stuck and now you dead for real. Can't be playing.
We need to stack the hook a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? And when I say just stack it just a little bit more, just slightly, so that it doesn't sound exactly like his verse sounds. It sounds like his verse, because when he finally comes back and he raps, the hook sounds like his verse. We want it to stand out a little bit more from his hook, right? Just a little bit, not by a lot. So we're not asking for a lot of vocals on top of it. We're asking for this a little bit, just to make it stand out a little bit more from everything else, right? Because it's a decent hook, so we can run with that. So when we get to his verse, right?
Family, I make money just for talking. When it's due, I ain't in coffins.
It's almost sounding the same. So we don't want it to sound the same like that. We want it to sound similar, but we don't want it to sound
What's
actually the
more
same.
we put in pain, we really. But till he's dead for real. Dead for real.
And at the end, bring the hook back in. And then ride it off. If we do that, that's a winner chicken dinner. Yeah, that, you're saying if we make those little tweaks on this, man, we take a record that's good and we make it way better, because now we give it a lot more replay value. We actually shorten it. We actually give it a little bit more power in terms of the replay of the hook, right? I'm not really tripping on the hook, because the hook basically says for real a ton of times, so we know what the name of the song is. So even if he's saying things different in between, as long as he keeps coming back to the cadence for real, that's all we need. Right, so as long as that's completely being repetitive and being repeated throughout the hook, this makes it stand out for us. You know what I'm saying? So this works for me, and that particular essence, right? So that's going to be a good situation here. So outside of that, right, outside of shortening the front, giving us a little bit more vocal on the vocal performance for the hook. Lyrics is tight, and lyrics is where they got to be. They talking that talk. He got the 8-ball on. This video was shot ultra clean, man. I like this, right? Ultra clean, man. This is how it's supposed to look, people. Just keeping it 100 with you. You know what I'm saying? With today's technology, where cameras are, where DSLRs are, where all these things is at, your videos are supposed to look like this, man. If it ain't looking like this, quality-wise, then, you know, we got an issue. Not saying it has to look like that content-wise. Talking about quality-wise, right? So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for clean images, man. And then what we're trying to do is we're trying to make the music match the image. The music matching the image. Make the music match what the song is about. Let the music match the artist. Like, these are the things that need to make. That's what kind of helps to build your brand with marketing, and that's what we're trying to do here. And like I said, as we get to the end, we just need that hook at the end of the song.
Suffer till he's dead for real. Dead for real.
That's it. Like, if we do that, we good. You know what I'm saying? And then after we put the hook back in, we can end it off just like how we did right here with how the drums come out. B-roll is all tight, slow motion. This is the game, man. This is how we get music to stand out in 2026, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to these guys at A-Born Records. You know what I'm saying? Everything is earned. This is for real, man. The album is Everything is Earned. Make sure y'all checking them out. A-Born Records. There goes the social. Y'all tap in, man. I like this, man. You know what I'm saying? I like to hear some more music from y'all, man. See what the rest of that project sounding like. But it's sounding pretty solid so far. Thank you for that submission, man. We got another joint here called Final Repeat from Tellus Planet. We about to jump into this one real quick. Let's jump into this one. Okay. Let's see where we're going with it now. Final Repeat, Tellus Planet. Let's take a listen. This is what you call it? SoundCloud.
Are you still there? Have you found your limit one more time before I go? Play this song again, the one that breaks me. When you sing along, the way it rolls off your tongue, pull me out the center. Pull me out the static. Yeah, play it again. Towards the edge, before I rest my head, the sound of relief. Yeah, play it again. Fill me up with chills when you sing along. Chaos learns to be still. Let it wash me slow. One more time. Yeah, play it again. Fill me up with chills when you sing along. Chaos learns to be still. Let it wash me slow. Yeah, play it again. Yeah, play it again. Are you still there? Have you found your limit one more time before I go? Play this song again. Be out the center. Pull me out the static. Yeah, play it again. Towards the the sound of relief. Yeah, play it again. Fill me up with chills when you sing along. Chaos learns to be still. Let it wash me slow. One more time. Yeah, play it again. Fill me up with chills when you sing along. Chaos learns to be still. Let it wash me slow.
Oh, shout out to Tellus Planet on this, man. Shout out to you on this, bro. It's definitely sounds like I mean, I'm sure it's AI. Just by the way that the song is structured. You know, again, man, you know, I talk about this really at length, man. It's just because Suno and the rest of these places, because they put out such good vocal performances, is that what tends to happen, if you guys notice, like if it tends to be absent of certain song structure, right? It kind of just goes from a hook and then it goes into maybe like a small refrain and then goes into another, you know, tangent of vocals performancing that doesn't necessarily mirror the hook, but it's kind of a variation of the hook, and then kind of you know, works its way out. And it's up to us as the producers and the songwriters of this thing, is for us to wrangle it in. We have to make sure that if we're using these AI tools, that if we're trying to highlight what we're doing as songwriters, it doesn't pull us away from having the accurate arrangements and making sure that our songwriting is following certain songwriting rules in terms of setting up your songs with, you know, intros, hooks, you know, verses, choruses, bridges, things of that nature. And we have to set them up in the right way so that the song really makes sense. Because as it is right now, it's just really a song with a great vocal performance. It's a song with a great vocal performance, a great vocal lead performance, a vocal hook. But it doesn't have the repeat situation in there, because if you were to tell me, you know, what is the repeat? Like, I couldn't really tell you, like, what was the place of it that really made it the hook. You know what I'm saying? It was just a lot of strong vocal performance, but there wasn't enough that really stood out for me to say, okay, this is like a hook that played in the beginning, middle, and end, so that I know this is a delineated hook on this record, and this is the record that makes it, you know, this what makes it strong. We have to make sure that we're wrangling our AI to make sure that it stays in pocket for us and make sure that it's creating the right song structure. For those who are using Suno, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be using Suno in terms of the studio situation. You're supposed to go back into it. You're supposed to be chopping up these sections, and you're supposed to arrange these songs. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to arrange them. You know what I'm saying? And this is how we're going to be able to start realizing that, okay, this is just an AI output, that you really didn't do anything to it. We're going to start realizing that, and we're going to start pulling it apart, and we're going to start saying, hey, you say that you're a songwriter, but you never arranged the song. This song is not arranged properly. You know, you may have taken a bunch of lyrics and you may have fed it into the AI, but it still doesn't make you, you're not exonerated from being able to set up the right song structure and the right arrangement. Like, this is very important for you if you're going to say that you want to use AI as a way to showcase your songwriting ability, right? Because right now it's just still an AI output. It's not showing your songwriting ability. It's the AI songwriting situation. Okay, without any specific structure or repeating. And now I'm trying to learn, right? So you have to learn how to make these hooks strong, right? We have to learn how to do that. You know, we're using AI to help us, but again, AI is just like kind of like, think of AI like a wild bull that's gonna just keep charging. It keeps charging, and this is what it's meant to do. It's meant to give us the best vocal performances. It's meant to make sure that everything is in key. It's to make sure that everything sounds authentic. You know what I'm saying? But it still doesn't have. It's not. I think it's done on purpose. I think it's done purposely for it not to have that song structure all the way through, because if it doesn't have that, then what happens is, then people can start to identify what's AI versus what's not. So once you kind of set up your thing in Suno, you can kind of see where your hooks are going to be. And the thing about it, with dealing with something like, just let's say Suno, just for the sake of illustration, it's not a situation where you can literally count the words to fit the bars, right? Suno doesn't really work that way, where you can say, okay, each 2 lines equals a bar or 2 bars. It doesn't do that. You're going to have to go into this thing, and you're going to have to really pick it apart, and you're really going to have to add in the parts to get it to accurately fall on the bars that it needs to fall on, and for it to feel like it's seamless. So you're really going to have to play producer. You're really going to have to play songwriter and arranger to kind of get it where you need it to get it. Or else it's just going to sound like a great vocal performance, but it's not going to have, the things that it needs to have in order for it to be deemed like, a great, great song. You know what I mean? So appreciate you for submitting that on that, man. Tell Us Planet. Thank you for submitting on it. We're going to jump into the next skip for the night. This joint is called Fine Lover by White Boy Clay. White Boy Clay, I see you in the building. So let's take a listen to this joint. Let's see what it sounds like. is Fond Lover by White Boy Clay. White Boy Clay, you in the building, get to the front, man. I know I seen you in the chat, man. Where you at, man? Come jump to the chat, in the front of the chat. Let's get into this. Yo, so listen, man. This is a decent record overall, bro. I think what happens here with this is like this. One, I just kind of feel like the record is maybe a little bit on the loud side in terms of its master. So it's like it doesn't seem like it has like not a lot of headroom. So we got to make sure that it's not, so loud that it's overloading. Like we need a little bit more space on that. Just make sure you tell your engineer to give us a little bit more headroom so it gives us more room for mastering, right? So let's get into the first thing here. This intro on your record is too long. It's entirely too long. There's one thing to start with the cassette and all of that, right? That's cool. 3, 2, 1, bring the hook in. Right? You going for you literally don't start your hook until 40 seconds in. That is egregious.
Arkatech.
That is egregious. You can't do that. Not in 2026. That's too long to get to the part of the record that needs to go. That's going to be a situation where you're going to have people just swipe. Right? Next song. If the algorithm is nice enough on Spotify to get you into some place where people might algorithmically hear you, we're going to skip it because we haven't gotten to what we need to get to, which is the hook. So let's get to the hook. Now, your hook is decent.
Sweet body, your pretty face, girl, you're fine, lover, girl, I can't concentrate with that sweet body, your pretty face.
All right, so even like on this first hook now, right? Like you're 50 seconds in before we get to your hook, bro. That's too long. It's almost a minute, bro. The song is almost a minute of real estate that's gone. You cannot give away that much real estate in the beginning of your record. It's way too long, way too much real estate that we're giving away. Can't do it. No good, no bueno. Can't happen. Can't make it work. Can't work that way. Can't do that. Now we get into your hook. You're singing the hook, like you're fine, Tyler. We got to make that hook stand out, right? So we got to find a way to place, very, 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 very light stacks on certain words so that it stands out a little bit more, so that it feels more full, that it feels more sultry, so that it feels more like a hook, right? The other issue is that it only goes for 4 bars. It needs to go for 8, right? So let's listen to it again and let's talk about that.
Girl, I can't concentrate with that sweet body, your pretty face. Girl, you're fine, lover. Girl, I can't concentrate with that sweet body, your pretty face. Girl, you're fine, lover. Sexy different angles, body like an angel, type of age. Your pretty face, can't concentrate. Girl, I can't concentrate with that sweet body, your pretty face. Girl, you're fine, lover. Girl, I can't concentrate with that sweet body, your pretty face. Girl, you're fine, lover. Sexy different angles, body.
So actually, this is actually the right length.
Like an angel, type of angel.
So I'll correct it on that.
It's called you can't decline. Hello, excuse me, Miss Hattie. I wanna take you to my bedroom party tonight.
And if you notice what I was saying about the hook is that your hook is recorded almost like in the same cadence as your verse, meaning it has the same amount of vocal texture, vocal tone, vocal effects. Well, if we do it that way, then it don't stand out.
I touch your body like a miss, hit you with my freaky waist. Wanna leave something on your spine, just wanna have a good time. Cause you find it in a dime. Girl, I wanna do you all night. Girl, I can't concentrate with that sweet body and pretty face. Girl, you're fine, girl, I can't concentrate with that sweet body and pretty face. Girl, you're fine, got so mesmerized, look so tenderized. Wanna get between them all night and give you sweet loving. So sweet, keep you coming. I got the magic touch, so climb on my bed. We can do the thing that you never did. I know your wants and desire. I can take it high to paradise. I wanna make your body feel right. Girl, I can't concentrate with that sweet body and pretty face. Girl, you're fine, lover.
Yeah, I agree with Richie Stone Cold on this. Like, if we fix these things, man, this is a good track overall.
Fine, lover. Girl, I can't concentrate with that sweet body and pretty.
See, right here would have been great for some doubles.
Girl, you're fine, lover. Girl, I can't concentrate with that sweet body and pretty face. Girl, you're fine,
This is dope.
girl, I can't concentrate with that sweet body and pretty face. Girl, you're fine,
And see, I like that you repeated this at the end and repeated the hook. You know, even if we took out even if we put it into the phone voice effect, as long as we had the hook have the doubles and everything else, and it was standing out toward the end, right? Like the thing that you're doing, which I encourage, is what you've done is you've created the hook in the beginning, middle, and end. This is what we're supposed to have in order to have the redundancy and replay value. You know what I'm saying? So because you've done that now, we are not lost in terms of what's the name of the song. And now we have a melody that's stuck in our head. Fine, love, fine. Like off of one listen, we will be able to make sure that we're able to understand that cadence. And we're able to understand that that's the replay value of the record. So the takeaway from this is shorten that intro like shorten that intro to a degree. Shorten that intro. If that brings your song down to just 2 minutes, that's fine, right? Because the simple fact that you need 30 seconds for a qualified stream play, and this will help to get replay value. And then also what we're trying to make sure of too, again, remember, we always talk about the engagement, and we talk about playing a record or playing a piece of content all the way through. That helps the algorithm, right? Because they want to see us, how long do we stay in the record? Like, how long is our attention to be maintained throughout that piece of content? Now, if we got a 40-second intro, chances are we're going to have drop off like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So if we're just getting right to the hook in the beginning, and people will be like, oh, I like this hook, because that's why it's the hook. We jump into the verse. Your verse is a short 8 bars. Back to the hook again. Another 8 bars. Hook again. We out of there. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to worry about it too much. Just make sure that our mix is good. Make sure that we have the vocals on the hook to stand out a little bit more. You know what I mean? So that we can have a little bit, like just a little bit of doubles here and there, just on certain words. Don't double the whole thing. Don't do a 2-part. You know what I mean? Like just you know, certain words on it to make it, to drive it home. You know what I mean? You know, and I think we'd be good. I think you'd be good on this. And then what you start doing is you just start testing it start testing it on the socials. You know, get pieces of content, AI content, whatever you're going to do. If you're going to record content, you're going to get pretty girls, whatever you're going to do. And you're going to, you know, put them in the video and just showcase it to see if we can get some traction in terms of, like, you know, if people start to really like the record. And if people start to like the record, then, you know, if you get the right response from the organic content, you kind of A/B split test it, you know, see, you know, put pieces out. You know, pieces of the hook, pieces of the verse, just piece it out. And just try to see what people resonate with the most. Whatever people resonate with the most, you throw some money on that. You know what I mean? As far in terms of, like, you know, some ads or some stuff like that. Just to kind of make sure people can kind of see the record a little bit more. And help to start building your fan base, man. But this is dope, man. Shout out to White Boy Clay on this. That was Fine Lover. It's a good submission, as Richie says it, man. This is a good submission. You know, we like to hear more music like this. Like this is like, you know, like I said, it's just getting it to where we got to get it to. And again, with this type of forum, it's like, you know, a lot of people, listen, a lot of people need their music to be produced properly. And what happens is what I notice is like this, is that people are so used to buying beats, but they're not used to getting produced. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where the disconnect is with music right now. People are going out, they're finding the right beats, right? They're going on YouTube, they're finding beats, they're on BeatStars or wherever else they're looking for. They're finding the right beats, but their songs aren't being produced well. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely a difference between having beats and not having songs that are going to be well produced. Songs that are going to be well produced are going to have different nuance to it. And the only way for you to do that is for you to deal with people who have really been experienced in, you know, in terms of really getting records out, you know what I'm saying? Out for real commercial situations, music that has really sold, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to be in those rooms. And if you're like us, like, you know, with me and my partner, Mike Trauma D, having to be the A&Rs on a project, because you have to deliver a project that they can put money behind. They're gonna ask you, yo, where's the single? What's gonna be the second single? What's gonna be the third single? All right, where's this record supposed to land? Who is it for? What's the demographic? You know what I'm saying? Is it gonna be for the ladies? Is it the street record? What's the B side if we're doing a single? We gotta put out a street single. We may have to put out a street single first with an A and a B side street single. Then we may have to go again to put out another A and B. Like we got to be testing the market. Like this is the stuff that we used to come from. We used to come from a situation where we used to put out records where they used to put out the first record, which would be the street single. You know what I'm saying? So let's say, for example, we're taking an artist like Big Pun. An artist like Big Pun, before anything ever came out, he had this record called You Ain't a Killer. It was the first vinyl for him, You Ain't a Killer. And then he put that out, and he had, you know, put that out and let that run a little bit to see if people like what he was spitting as far as a rapper. And then, you know, then he winds up coming with the Still Not a Player, right? But that wasn't even really the record yet because they still had to remix it with Joe, right? So they got the Still Not a Player. It was doing pretty good. Yeah, my darling, darling baby. It started doing pretty well. Said, you know what, let's do a remix. They do the remix with Joe. Out of here. First Latino to go platinum. 3 million copies. Out of here. You know what I'm saying? But look at the build-up. Look how many records we had to put out before we get to that. You see what I'm saying? Like we have to put out a bunch of records before we get to that. So now, once we get to that and people say, damn, I like this single, they go buy the album. Okay, the album got Wyclef on it. The album got Prodigy on it. The album got RZA produced a record. Rockwaller. You know what I'm saying? Wyclef, Young Lord, you know what I'm saying? We got a record on there, right? So by the time you hear the whole thing, you like, man, everybody on this. Fat Joe, everybody's on this bitch. Shit, tell everybody, tell a friend. Miss Jones on the record. You know what I'm saying? By the time you hear it, you're like, damn, this shit is fire. That's it. We ready to go. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. It's like you got to lead these folks into it. You got to hook them, and you got to keep it going. But again, I think people are too used to just buying beats and not really getting the understanding of, you know, what's the build-up. What record's going to come after this record? What's going to be the next one? You know what I'm saying? And then how do we get to a situation where we make records that are consistently getting better? You know, because it's kind of like a little bit of a ladder roller coaster, you know what I mean? So we got to get to that point where we can do those type of things. Shout out to everybody that jumped into the live. Shout out to everybody that submitted. White Boy Clayman, I appreciate you. Everybody else that jumped into this, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. Again, like I like to hear some more music, bro. So get that tightened up, man, so we can hear how it sounds when it's finished. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the joint. But I'm about to jump out of here. You know, this is about my time. Hold on, before I get out of here, let me see what this. Did I listen to this? think I did.
I wake up, I wake
This is
up,
8 Ball by
up,
JB.
I wake up, I wake up, I wake up, I wake up. I got jars not for free. I'ma sit my 8 ball on me and sell it as it is needed. Too cold in the winter, I freeze, ayy. I'm too fast with the breeze, I'm finna breeze, ayy. Put all of my trust in you that you won't leave me. You say you do not need me, but I know you need me. Fill my cup, ayy. I sit way too much, ayy. So my mom to pray for me when I be out these drugs, ayy. Overdose too much, ayy. Perky pop for lunch, ayy. That ain't even my bitch, but I take her out for lunch. Look, switch up on the mask, but I'ma switch up on the cut, ayy. I'm too up, I'm too up, I'm too up, ayy. I jump over walls, ayy. I won't never stall, I got that money I could ball, ayy. Think I need another minute, too high up the jars, ayy. Think I need a month, ayy. Think it's been a month, ayy. Bitch, I think I'm done. I got jars not for free, I'ma sit my 8 ball on me and sell it as it is needed. Too cold in the winter, I freeze, ayy. I'm too fast with the breeze, I'm finna breeze, ayy. Put all of my trust in you that you won't leave me. You say you do not need me, but I know you need me. Fill my cup, ayy. I sit way too much, ayy. So my mom to pray for me when I be out these drugs, ayy. Sit back, I'ma show you by my own show, ayy. Austin Powers, got that power, keep it on the low, ayy. Yeah, I know you hard, ayy. Baby, I been low, ayy. Milwaukee, I walk with a buck, I make way too much. Drugs not for free, I'ma sit my 8 ball on me and sell it as it is needed. Too cold in the winter, I freeze, ayy. I'm too fast with the breeze, I'm finna breeze, ayy. Put all of my trust in you that you won't leave me. You say you do not need me, but I know you need me. Fill my cup, ayy. I sit way too much, ayy. So my mom to pray for me when I be out these drugs, ayy.
Shout out to what's that, J6? Yeah, shout out to J6 on this 8 Ball. It's the way that he's rapping. It's not a bad track at all, but it's the way that he's rapping. I can't.
I sit way too much, so my mom to pray for me when I be out these drugs.
So what happens is that because he didn't change the way that he layered the hook, we can't differentiate it. It just sounds like one long verse. Like it just sounds like one long verse. You know what I'm saying? So because it's that kind of rap where it's kind of like more melodic, less lyrical. It's kind of like we're listening to it and we're trying to really more so get a vibe because it's really about really getting high. If you think about, with the music the way that it is. So this is really about that type of content. But what my suggestion would be to you on this one, J6, is, we want to make sure that the hooks have some sort of, the hooks are differentiated from the verses, right? And it should either be recorded slightly different, meaning they need to have either doubles, stacks, ad libs, something to make it stand out from the rest of the verse. If it's just going, like, we can't follow that. And then there's not enough for us to say, okay, you know what? If we can't figure out what the hook is, why would we play it again? We're not going to play it again to find out where the hook is. You see what I'm saying? Like, we have to be able to identify the hook on the first listen. This is very, very important for you guys' records. And anybody that's watching, make sure you guys are doing that. Make sure you're able to identify what the hook is. Like, this is where we are with this. The hook has to be identified. If we can't identify the hook, then we're just creating a mishmash of a song. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you in terms of submitting. I appreciate that, man. That's J6, man, 8 Ball. I'm about to jump out of here. I'd like to thank everybody that submitted for tonight. We got a total of 527 submissions on this thing, man. This is really incredible. I ain't gonna hold you. This is a lot of people that are submitting a lot of songs, and it's really a testament to folks, tuning in, seeing what we have to offer. understanding the value that's here and understanding that they want to get better with their music. And really, that's really the whole point of this thing here, you know what I mean? So we want to jump into that. But I want everybody to be safe. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Make sure that if you're a producer, make sure you're jumping into our school community, man. We appreciate people that's in there learning the music business and learning different things. So be getting it going, man. So I appreciate y'all, man. Until next one. You left the Suno clip. I'll check it out. All right. I appreciate you.